Oh, oh, I bet you it's the hat that's freaking her out. What? Oh yeah. Finally. Yeah, it's always my fault. My personality is too big for this program. Are you gonna leave your house on the video? Did have you ever changed your background? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to look unprofessional, that's fine. That's cool. Me with my unprofessional psychedelic all-seeing eye. For those interested, I made this myself. Yeah, that's one of the designs. Go ahead. Wow, we got people already. Wow, that's very cool. Absolutely. Thank you for showing up, brothers, friends, brothers. Exactly it. Without further ado, well, introduce yourself first. No, you didn't. You see how he looks away. You see what how he looks away, folks. When he says that stuff, he looks away because he knows it's not the truth. He knows that I'm the personality. He knows that I'm the guru of Goliad, the face of Masonic improvement, the mouth of the South, Dennis Yates. With my junior co-host, Justin Jones. That's even better. See, it's probably better for you guys that you can't only hear me. So, anyways, while he's trying to work on that and fix it, and I appreciate y'all being here to help us to be able to hone this in. We've been working on this on several occasions with different guests, and we've had issues with the audio and with the quality. And so we're doing this without even telling anybody that we're doing it, and which is kind of cool that y'all were able to find us, right off the bat. But we were doing this. Can you hear him now? And we're not selling phones. Can you tell him if somebody write in and tell him if you hear him or not? But anyways, we've been trying to do this for a while. Okay. We've been trying to do this for a while, and so it's kind of a you're in the middle of a works in progress thing. But if you're interested, I created this sign, this all-seeing eye behind me. It's going to go on one of my new products. If y'all haven't listened before, uh, I also have a company called Square Image that I sell Masonic regalia and uh, and different things and cases, apron cases, and stuff like that. And I'm coming out with some new products. But this is one of the things that I just created for that that I really like. It's one of my favorite ones. But tonight we're going to talk about the pros and cons of plural membership in with lodges. Um, if you don't mind, could y'all tell me if you are a member of a lodge or not? I'm interested to know if you are a Freemason or if you're just a general public kind of person. Um, which it doesn't matter to us. We're here to discuss what we think is important in Freemasonry, and if it encourages you to join, then great. If it encourages you not to join, then great. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's always, life is a personal journey. It's a personal journey, and we all have to decide how we're going to live it because we only got one shot at it. Is Can one of y'all say something and tell them? That way we know for sure. We'll start talking, Justin. Talk a little more. Ah, it's funny that you say that. See? Nice. One of my many rants. I well, before I do that, let me check. They say that they hear you now? Oh, okay. Let me I apologize, friends. Let me check on my end to see. I'm going to turn off my computer audio to make sure that it's not picking up along with my headset. I don't want that to happen. So let me find that real quick. There can be so forth with us. See, it all shows off.
Do that. And I'll do that. Hello? Oh, there we go. Alright, so maybe. Is that working now? Can you hear me now?
And how about me? Well, see, now I just heard it echo in my ear.
You heard what echo?
Wow.
You or me? Oh, they can hear me
Me?
now. They can hear
They
me
can
now.
hear you now, but
Yeah.
now I hear you in my headphones.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Can you? Am I still echoing? Now that he figured his side out.
I'm not hearing an echo on your end. I'm not hearing echo on your end.
Yeah, but we need mic quality to be good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hear it echo every couple of seconds.
Okay, so there's me. There's
Really,
you.
when I talk louder, though.
It shouldn't hopefully echo now, but we'll find. Dennis is still echoing. Dennis, quit echoing. What are you echoing for?
I'm just a yodeler. I was born in Sweden.
Okay, we're good now.
We're good now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Oh,
I
nice.
think we can. I think we can proceed. I think we can safely proceed.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for your assistance. If anyone that is interested has questions, I'm sure we can help while they are troubleshooting. Yes, yeah. If anyone has any questions while we talk, just type it. Wonderful. Thank you, writer artist. I appreciate that. So we're talking about dual memberships, correct? Is that what we agreed on?
Yeah, that's what you
Okay,
agreed on.
that's what I agreed on. Good.
Yeah,
As long
that's
as
what you.
hey, as long as we have a quorum and half of us agree, we're good. So we're
Why
talking
do I
about,
have
huh?
emojis here?
We have what?
Nothing.
Okay. So
Nothing.
dual memberships, Dennis, good or bad?
Uh, that that's a double-edged sword, sir. Okay, dual membership. So for people that don't know what it is, let's first tell them what it is.
Okay.
Tell them what it is, Sam.
So in Texas, you can have it's called dual membership. It's not necessarily dual. You could be a member of
It's plural, not dual.
plural membership. Yeah, that's correct. Plural membership is
I
more
know it's
accurate.
correct.
And so plural membership means you could be a member of multiple lodges, as long as you keep up your dues and take care of business. There's no real limit, to my knowledge, because I know people that are member of many lodges.
Yes.
I'm no longer afraid
So
to visit Texas, so when I'm a master mason, I may come to your lodges. Come on down, man. Come on.
nice, nice.
Come on down.
Yeah, we travel all over. I was in New Mexico last week, or was it the week before?
I think it's the
I
week
was in New
before.
Mexico and Mexico and when I went up to El Paso, lots of good brothers. Want to give a shout out to our New Mexico brothers, our El Paso brothers. You know, there's been jokes over the last year and a half. Justin keeps joking. We had a show saying that I would go to lodges and help people decide what they needed to fix and prioritize, you know, to spruce up their lodges, because I do that with my rent properties and stuff. And Justin made the joke that I'll go to El Paso, and he told everybody, all you people in El Paso, Dennis will come and visit you. And I went to El Paso
Is that what it was all about? Just so I couldn't call you out anymore?
just to shut you up.
That
Yep.
tells you a lot about how far south Dennis lives when he says he goes up to El Paso.
Yes. And it shows how far I will go to make sure that Justin Jones cannot talk garbage about me.
Oh, I'll find something else. Don't worry about that. I got skills.
You'll make it up if nothing else.
I got skills. So, dual memberships, plural memberships. Sorry, plural memberships. The trend seems to be that you have brother masons that are members of all the local lodges, and these are local lodges that would not survive today if there were not plural memberships. However, that also means that lots of these lodges, it's the same members in all the lodges, right? So they want to keep their dues low so that they can afford to be members of all these lodges. And not only that, so they keep the dues low so the lodge has no money, and the building never
Well,
gets
that's not
approved.
why they. Oh, okay. So, guys, the reason they keep the dues low, I live in a country lodge, and their mentality is they want to make it affordable for the local people.
Well, especially if they're members of every lodge in
the-
your area.
Yeah, exactly. The question is, how affordable do you really need to make it for somebody? Go ahead.
I think if you neglect your lodge for too long, it becomes unaffordable, regardless of your dues.
Absolutely.
Because
And that's the problem that we're in right now.
yeah, because the expenses mount up, and those aren't affordable. So it becomes a you the dues are the short term thing. They're short term. So we want to keep them cheap short term so that we benefit from it short term. And if it creates any problems, it's someone else's problem down the road. However, long term, the problems rear their ugly heads, right? And then all of a sudden you have these huge maintenance costs or repairs or whatever, right? And the lodge has nothing because they've been charging just enough money in dues and raising just enough money with their fundraising that they're able to break even every year. I have seen plural memberships kickstart a lodge back into action. They turned it into a past master's lodge, and it got back to being active. So I'm not saying full disclosure. I am a plural member of 2 lodges, and Dennis is a plural member. I mean, Dennis has to be, otherwise he just have Goliad. So he's a plural member, and
Of several.
of several. Say I'm a plural member of 2. So I'm not saying that plural memberships are completely terrible. I am saying that it's kind of out of control, and so
Yes.
it could definitely
The problem
kickstart.
is when you have the problem is when you have too many to where you're not really supporting those lodges. You're just buying a membership so you can say you hang your hat there when you really don't. When you don't contribute, you don't, support the lodge fully. You're not there for all the different events and stuff like that. Now you may be different on the lodge that you're talking about. I don't know who it is that said that, so I can't say brother whoever. But the overall problem that we're seeing in Texas is the issue with people having way too many.
Yeah.
That's what we're discussing here. Not so much just 1 or 2, because there are benefits. There are benefits.
So we got a comment. I'm on the fence. Why is it segregated along for knowledge? Do you want to take that, Dennis?
Why is it segregated? What?
It says, I'm on the fence. Why is it segregated? I long for knowledge.
I long for knowledge. Okay, so Freemasonry is not segregated. Freemasonry is one of the oldest fraternities that has all nationalities involved. Now, there were times when that was different based on the socioeconomic structures of America and even still in some other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But today, in today's world, it's no longer the case.
Yeah.
England prides themselves on how inclusive they are, and even here in America, it's the same way. We have many lodges with people of different color, people of different religion, people of different. I can't remember the term for that.
Cultures.
Different sexual preferences.
Yeah.
It's not this. We're not a place full of bigots. In fact, that's the whole idea of Freemasonry, is that it's supposed to be from knowledge. If you're in an area where there is segregation, then it's probably a cultural thing where you live, and not Freemasonry as a whole. And so that's the best thing. That's the best answer I can give. I'm trying not to offend at the same time, and trying to give you a real picture of what it is, because Freemasonry, we're supposed to be expanding our minds and our spirits.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea of it. The whole idea of it.
So,
and if we stay close-minded to other people and other religions, how can we expand?
I had a brother. See, I'm also in the South. Dennis and I are both in Texas. We're in the South.
I'm in the deep South. He's in the South.
Yes. But we're both in the country, right?
He's in the frou-frou South.
And I had a brother at a local lodge come up to me and ask me, he's like, hey, I have a good friend of mine that is interested in the fraternity. And I was like, well, that's great, man. This if he wants a petition, go for it. He's like, I want your advice, because he's African American, and I'm worried that if he petitions our lodge, and if he gets frankly, if things just don't go well, it's going to turn him off to the idea of joining at some point. And I get where he's coming from, right? Like I've had mostly positive. I've had mostly positive experiences at that lodge, but some people hide their racism really well, right? And we're thinking, we're in the country. Some of these guys might come out of the woodwork if an African American guy petitions the lodge, and but he petitioned, and we conferred the degree a few days ago. It was a great degree. It was a great time. No one said a word about it. No one like someone said earlier, who said that? Writer artist, like he said, it's kind of a different time now. Don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, there are still racist people out there, and unfortunately, there are still racist Masons. But I would say that depending on where you are, I mean, you could petition probably anywhere. Do what?
They're becoming few and far between.
Yeah. It's something that a few Masonic funerals will take care of.
Yeah, and here's another cool thing is that not too long ago we had a brother that was on the fence, and he kept passing by these lodges and wondering, what was going on, and we were able to help him, encourage him to go ahead and seek them out. Turns out one of his best friends for years was a member of that lodge.
Yeah,
and he never knew it, and so now he's fixing to. That shows how south I am. He's going to do his fellowcraft degree very shortly, and go on to a Master Mason, and that's an awesome thing. That's happened within the last year. That's just too cool.
I would say, like, if you are, I'll just say it, like, if you're a minority and if you feel that there's a concern that there might be some kind of discrimination or something if you petition, I'll tell you this: urban lodges are very different than country lodges. You can go sit in an urban lodge, and it's just a mixed basket of all kinds of different people, right? And so you're less likely to encounter anything like that. Country lodges are more vanilla. If it's a like a buffet with one flavor, right? But it's yeah, like all they sell is vanilla ice cream. But urban lodges, a lot more variety of types of people. So if you're in a position that you want to petition and you're close to like a large urban area, maybe try there first.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend as well. And now we can't speak for other countries and different nations as well. I mean, we have people all the time asking from South Africa, from different places in Africa, and different places in India and Pakistan, and we just can't speak for all the local lodges. All we can speak for is our experience and what we found to be true.
We can't speak for other jurisdictions either. Like here in Texas, we have recognition with Prince Hall. And so,
yes,
it's a great time. Like you can sit in lodge with Prince Hall brothers all over the place. And it's very enlightening because they handle things differently. And I love to see how they do things. But some jurisdictions may not have that recognition yet. So your experience may vary. But yeah, like Red Raider is saying, definitely visit multiple lodges before you put in a petition anywhere. Like if you visit a lodge and everyone's just kind of giving it a stink eye, maybe don't go to that one, right? But if you got to drive about 10 minutes further to another lodge where they're much more inviting, then go with that one. But yeah, definitely check out multiple lodges, and that's always something I suggest anyway. Get a feel for the lodge, what they're about. Just because they may seem like a good fit for you doesn't necessarily mean you're a good fit for them. And just because you're a good fit for them doesn't necessarily mean it's a good fit for you. It has to go both ways. True. So get out and travel.
And and in all reality, if they're closed-minded like that, you're not going to learn anything new from that lodge.
Yeah, it's not.
You're not going to learn. You're not going to learn what Freemasonry is all about. That's the honest to God truth. That if a lodge is like that, they're probably on their way out, and you would just be riding a roller coaster south.
Yep.
So
And alternatively, it doesn't necessarily have to be even what you would call "quote unquote" the mainstream Grand Lodge. I mean, if you have local Prince Hall lodges, you might check them out. I mean, you may find that it offers way more than what you are experiencing at other lodges. But definitely shop around and don't commit to anything until you're happy with what you find, because the experience that you'll have there will either make or break Freemasonry for you.
Yes.
Yes.
And I can assure you, the Prince Hall brothers that I've met, they're definitely more professional and more serious about the way they conduct themselves in their fraternity.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game.
Well, that's like what I'm saying. Like if you're sitting in a lodge and a Prince Hall brother comes in, you could tell right away. And I'm not talking like superficially. I'm talking like they square everything they do. Like they are very formal. It's very I hate to say professional because it's hard to imagine like being professional, but at a lodge, right? But it's almost militaristic, like how precise their movements are and how they square when they go do things. I like to see it. Like it's nice.
But on the same token, and he says not superficially, but they dress nice.
Oh,
their exterior matches their interior.
Yeah.
They're proud of themselves inside. They're proud of themselves outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's hands down. That's what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Red Raider, where are you from in Lubbock? Who is this?
This is Call Me Charles.
Calling you Charles. Okay.
Charles
Smith?
Yeah. Do you know?
Did I get him?
It's Charles
Is that
Smith. It? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, brother.
Thank you.
Glad you're on with us tonight.
Charles Smith.
I'm surprised you found us.
Was he at
cool.
Was he at OLT?
Last year.
Oh, yeah. Last year. Well, last year didn't count. Yeah. I wasn't there. But yeah.
Are you checking up on us, making sure we don't say anything crazy?
Well, you know Dennis will.
Of course I will. That's why he's here. He wants to see me really mess up. He needs a good laugh for the night.
So look what I've
let's go back to plural.
Go
back to plural moves. Go ahead with your let me show you this.
Oh,
let's show and tell.
I'm just showing you what
I showed everybody mine.
What I've been reading up on lately. Let's see here. We switch over.
Yeah. Nice.
Light foot monitor.
Nice.
Look how thick that is compared to the regular monitor. That's crazy.
Yes. Let's see if you learned something.
Teach Dennis some humility. I've been trying for a while. Teach him something.
Who was that? Was that Red Raider?
Yep.
Of course.
Dennis says all the crazy things.
We're way too far from that.
Writer artist, you have no idea the kind of things I edit, Dennis. Like the kind of things he says. I've kept him out of trouble more times than I can count. When we record something and then I go and do the editing, and it's like, yeah, I should probably take that out just for his sake. So
everybody knows that I surround myself in bubble wrap.
Open mouth, insert foot.
All of my brothers take care of me to make sure that I'm okay, because I can get myself into trouble because I speak my mind. I am humble though, and there's some humility there. I don't.
Okay. No, please continue.
I'm sorry. It seems so boisterous that I'm involved in so many things.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
That's why your face is on the show, right?
Yeah.
Well, we all have our vices. That's probably mine. Is that I like to say how I feel.
Yeah.
Say where I'm at.
Yeah.
Live life on my sleeves. Life on my sleeves. So let's get back to plural moves.
Yes.
So
tell us what
let's
you think.
talk about the pros.
Enlighten us, Dennis. Enlighten us. While remaining humble.
Well, one of the pros with plural membership is that you do get a different experience with different lodges. So one lodge, now I wouldn't say do it in the same district. If you're going to plural member, then I would recommend doing it in a separate district or doing it with a specialty lodge, like
Goliad,
like a traditional lodge, or they will come up there to get you. I'm telling you, their reach is far.
Nice. Please come visit.
But yeah, it'll be the last time you get a visit, and I'm not talking about with me. But that is one of the benefits of having plural memberships. That's why you see a lot of the Grand Masters with many plural memberships, because they want to get a feel for the Freemasonry in different areas of the state, so that they have a better idea of what's going on around the state. Now, me personally, I don't believe that's necessary to have a good feel on the pulse of Freemasonry around the state. If you travel enough and you visit enough people and you become friends with enough people in different lodges in different areas, you get your feel and you know what's going on. But to their credit, they are trying to do that, and they're trying to understand, what makes Freemasons tick in Texas. So that's a plural. That's a bonus. That's a plus.
Yeah,
I would say.
So what should I expect when Goliad comes to get me? Are y'all gonna round up a posse and ride your jackrabbits up here?
No, sir. We ride bulls down here. This is the original county for Texas ranching. And so, we're not like you foo-foo guys up there in North Texas. We really do it right.
Okay.
I know you're kind of teetering on the fence, being in Hillsboro, in between Dallas and Fort Worth both. You don't fit in anywhere. But we know where we come from.
Wow, that's harsh, Dennis. It's a good thing I don't have feelings.
You know what? You drew first blood. Speaking of First Blood, have you seen that there's a new movie coming out with him? Oh my goodness, The Samaritan. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to say if it's good or bad, but there's a time when we all need to retire from our jobs. I hope to retire someday, but do what you love. If that's your gig, then go for it. But anyways, another benefit of plural membership, since my co-host has left the building, he's probably picking his nose or something. Another benefit of plural membership is you don't have to abandon your home lodge if you move to a different city. And that's what happened with me. No, excuse me. So there's 2 times that I became plural members. One was, and there will be a third, because I'm going to join an invitation only traditional lodge.
Plural with Hillsboro? The jewel of Hill County?
No.
Oh.
So when I was raised in McKinney, St. John's 51, fabulous lodge. I love that lodge. But then, life brought me down to South Texas, and I didn't want to abandon that lodge because they raised me. That's my mother lodge, right? So
right.
I was able to keep that and then move down to Goliad and get plural membership so that I could be an active contributing member to this lodge while still supporting my mother lodge. And then when I became District Deputy Grand Master, before I did that, I joined the Victoria 40 Lodge, because well, here we go with the showboating.
Oh, you've already started. Go ahead, Right Worshipful District Deputy Grand Master.
Education Committee member. But before, and not just the Grand Lodge, but with Scottish Rite also. And that's what I was going to bring up, is that the Scottish Rite meets at the same time as Goliad. And so before I became DDGM, I had moved my membership, or not moved it, but pluraled with Victoria 40 as well in my district, so that I would have a lodge to go to. That because I'm not one of those members that is gonna join a lodge and then be the guy that shows up 20 years later to get a pin because I've got a 20-year membership. I'm the guy who tries to stay active in the lodge.
Yep.
Now, of course, McKinney's different because it's my mother lodge, but Goliad's my home lodge. Victoria, I did that because I meet in San Antonio during our stated meeting night for Goliad. I meet up in San Antonio for the Scottish Rite because I'm part of the education committee. So I need to be up there when they're doing their thing, and it's an important part of my life. So that's another benefit of plural membership.
Good job.
You had your chance to talk.
Good job.
You should have
did all this when I was trying to get the audio. So we got Mike Powell. Welcome from Delaware. Greetings from Delaware. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mike.
Nice to see you.
A1 Kev, has anyone told August that it's September already? Texas heat is crazy. You know, actually, I was outside today at work, on my conference. I was like, man, it actually feels nice. I thought it felt good earlier. It was it was still warm, right? But it was like 80. 80 is like nice around here. 4 virtues, 4 truths. So Rockwall was beautiful, and plus I've done some research on it. Definitely a site of ancient wonders. I've heard a little bit about Rockwall. I haven't been there, but yeah, that's definitely it's definitely interesting. I
have an uncle that lives in Rockwall.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they got that wall apparently, right? And they try to say it's like a natural formation. I just don't know. I don't know. I need to go check it out. There's lots of weird things like that kind of don't fit and don't make sense. But yeah, that's another conversation for another day, I think.
Well, somebody had to have built this.
Huh?
No, actually, natural erosion can, wash away the dirt, and that wall could be the actual layers of composite built up from volcanoes back in prehistoric times. That's
actually,
true.
I think it's actually like a literal wall, though. It's not like
I know.
But so what I think is interesting is like a lot of people really don't,
not just alleged.
Yeah, probably don't know this, but the Native American population was very healthy before the white man came and brought all
very
his diseases. Oh yeah. I mean, we're just now kind of finding like cities like, so what's it called? So the Mayan cities in Mexico, those were obvious. Like we found them because you got these giant stone temples, right? But there's evidence now, like we had really elaborate cities in North America, like the mound builders and things like that. And in fact, they may have even traded with the Mayans and things such as this. And so my point is, like, for a tribe of Native Americans to found a city or use some sort of stone construction, it's not outside the realm of possibility. We just like to, for whatever reason, modern history likes to have everyone think that they were primitive and running around with sticks, that like they're 1,000 years behind everybody else. That really wasn't the case.
Don't be talking bad about our guests. Don't be talking bad about our guests.
What are you talking about?
That's why we don't have any guests anymore, because you talk so bad about them.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, the mountain cities.
My rabbit's sitting here looking at me.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was a tangent, but it's all interesting stuff, I think, for sure.
Yeah, there's always more light, no matter where it comes from.
Yeah, true.
So now tell me one of the disadvantages of plural membership.
People get spread too thin. Spreads out their focus. So instead of having really what happens is it prevents natural selection from occurring, because natural selection with lodges means that the best and the healthiest would survive, and the weak that are unable to adopt good practices would have to merge or demise,
Right.
and it keeps
Right.
creates zombie lodges, and it turns what would be a healthy lodge into a zombie lodge because the members are spreading so far. If you're a member of 5 lodges, you can't really give them all the attention they deserve. And then we also.
And if you are doing that, then you're not giving your family the attention they deserve.
Huh? What?
I said, and if you are doing that, then you're not giving your family the attention they deserve.
Yeah, and so the idea is it's not like
There's
I said,
no balance.
It's not necessarily that dual members or plural memberships are a bad thing, but I would say like if without them you would have fewer lodges, but they would be stronger because first of all the dues could be where they needed to be. Like a lot of lodges don't want to charge dues where they need to be because you already have $100 here, $100 here, $100 here, $100 here. When really that lodge needs to charge for like $400 dues to pay the bills, but it can't because everyone's spread out so far. So those are in my mind some of the biggest disadvantages. It kind of creates this lifeline that keeps unhealthy lodges alive, but also prevents healthier lodges from moving forward as well.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening is people end up getting endowments for their lodges, and so then you've got a bunch of people that don't show up. They're not contributing their time and their money to the lodge. Mm-hmm. They have an endowment that barely pays for the per capita. In fact, you usually lose.
Yeah.
One of our lodges paid out $1,100 for annual returns this year, and received $500 in endowment money. So that tells you the benefit of endowments on a lodge that's not run properly.
Yeah. So my pal said, so burning the wick at both ends, doing something you enjoy will eventually turn into a chore, and that's absolutely true.
That's
absolutely
true. Right.
Like
and you'll start to lost so many good Masons.
Yeah, because you'll find you start to dread going, and then you ask yourself, why do I even bother going to any of them? If I'm dreading going, why go at all? And so yeah, it burns them out real fast. I agree, 100%.
Yeah, because you can always visit more lodges without being a plural member. I used to do that before I was a plural member with Victoria. I'd go there all the time just to, socialize. But I didn't feel like I had to join. The only reason I did join is because I did it for a purpose. And when you do it for a purpose, you ought to. But if you're not, then no, I don't think it's necessary.
4 Virtues, 4 Truths says, I'm going to try, y'all. So I wish you the best on your journey, 4 Virtues. If you want to try us, I definitely suggest you try Dennis first because he's the most bitter. So if you can overcome that, then you can handle the rest of us. But yes, I hope you meet with success in your Masonic journey, and if you're ever in Texas, go see the Guru.
Absolutely,
the Guru himself.
Absolutely,
the Guru of Goliad.
Absolutely,
or the what's the not the Guru anymore? It's the Goulash of Goliad.
The Goulash.
The Goulash of Goliad, right there.
Yeah, I was named that by our committee member in the education committee who serves up the food.
Yes.
That's his big purpose of the committee is making sure everybody gets fed right, and that's one of the biggest. That's the most important thing in a good meeting. But
is that a promotion or a downgrade?
I know it's a bit of both. it needs to be a bit of both.
The Goulash of Goliad. And they got to change your briefcase and everything.
I know.
So going back to not 4 Virtues. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Take care, 4 Virtues.
So the going back to the endowment thing, right? Like what was the payout this year? It was like $5 per unit, $5.06. I mean, it was practically $5, right?
$25 for every $500 endowment purchased.
Yeah. So if you have a typical $500 endowment, which is what they set in 1980, which a lot of lodges still have, what was that?
Yeah.
30 years later?
Well, at yeah, at the time it was 15
No,
times.
40 years later. It's been 40 years now.
Yeah,
And
40
so
years.
40 years, and a lot of lodges still have the same endowment price that it was 40 years ago. So yeah, if you still have that, then you're making about $25, and 20 and per capita is $27.50. So you're losing money, right? And people say, well, it'll pay for itself eventually, but I mean, geez, if someone endowed like 1980,
if the lodge manages to survive eventually,
yeah, because
that's
lodges,
the problem.
at the end of the day, lodges need members to pay dues, right? It needs dues paying members at the end of the day, or not even dues paying members, but it needs a steady income from its members every year, right?
Right.
And
Right.
if you encourage endowments, you're losing reliable income every year, because now it's instead of like $100 a year, like you set your dues at, it's $25 a year, right? And so the lodge it's hemorrhaging money that it needs. I mean, the dues are, or they should be, set where they are for a reason. And if the lodge is not making that money off the member, then it's going to be hurting.
Yes, and you know, our Grand Master came on and did a video on how good the endowments are, and you know, I know that when it was conceived, it was a great idea. Um, you know, Leonard P. Harvey was not an idiot. You know, he is a smart man, and he is a smart brother, and so, and a good Grand Master. So I know that the idea at the time was a good idea, but they were also doing it during a time when there was a very high amount of membership, very high. We were you know 20 years after our peak, and we had, you know, all those members. We had what, probably 150,000 members around that time, and now we're down to 50,000. So during that time, he had the forethought to see, okay, all these people are going to be passing away. So we're going to churn this much membership. And if we churn this much membership, that's all money coming into the lodge that the lodge wouldn't normally get. So yeah, thinking about it in that regard was a good idea. But what happened, like you said, Justin, is that they stopped the lodges themselves. It was left up to the lodges themselves to decide their endowment rates, and most of them kept it at the minimum, just like they did with their dues. The same ones that are in trouble because they're not charging enough dues are also not charging enough for the endowments, and then it just becomes a twofold problem. And so in a good lodge that has everything going right, they're making a budget, they're sticking with their budget, they're functioning well without doing fundraisers to pay their bills. That's a lodge that can afford to have some people contribute to endowments. It really is. But when you have a lodge that can't afford all those things, that hasn't been doing all the things that they need to do, and they don't have the money to even fix up their building or pay for, you know, decent toilet paper when the Grand Master rolls into town, that lodge doesn't need to be buying.
Whip out the 2-ply for the Grand Master.
That's right. That's right.
So
we go with full on Charmin, buddy.
Red Raider says, "I see your points. I personally like the endowments, but most of our active endowed members also pay dues, so the lodge doesn't suffer." And yeah, I mean, if you can pull it off, I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? But you can't enforce it. Unfortunately, that's the real problem.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you're lowbrowing somebody into paying dues on top of their endowments, which is fine. I do the same thing. I get it. You know, I do the same thing. I don't want anybody to lose because of me, but it's an option. I don't have to, and nobody should lowbrow me for not doing it, because I bought it knowing that I would never have to pay dues again.
Yeah.
And that was what a lot of people were sold the idea on, is oh, you'll never have to pay dues again. Well, yeah. So you can't lowbrow somebody and I'm not saying that you would, Charles. I know you. I know, you and your brother are some beautiful people, and I know
Beautiful.
that you would not do that.
You didn't call me beautiful before, Dennis.
That's because it's the internal, not the external.
Oh, okay.
So, so, but to your credit, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it is an option and not something like Justin said. It's not enforceable, so it's really not something that you can put in the bank.
Yeah. What are the dues at Goliad?
Oh, do we really want to go there?
Yeah, let's go there. Let's
They're
compare.
not much.
How much? How much
They're
is
not
not
much.
much?
You're only comparing because y'all just raised these, and they were substantial. I'll tell you, but you just did. But I'm about the average of your small towns. That's for sure.
So that what? 50?
No, it's more than that.
Oh, 100?
Close.
I feel like I'm playing process right here. Tell me how would I get close
because I'm not
without
going to have my brothers come and hang me because I'm making them look bad on national broadcast.
Okay.
On international broadcast.
Okay.
But I can tell you that we raised them in my year as master, and we haven't raised them since. And that's a shame. That shouldn't happen in any lodge. That should be an ongoing process.
Well, who's our district deputy? They should be encouraging that.
Their district deputy is a lot of talk and no action.
Sounds like somebody I know.
I know, right? It's kind of, you would almost think it was Justin, but it's not. It's me. No.
Red Raider says, I'm an ugly man, but I try to be a good Mason. That's probably why you and he get along.
Absolutely are. You absolutely are. That's right. That's right. We got to stick together, brother. But, our dues aren't where they should be. And I do.
So Mike Powell says it's $100 a year at his lodge in Delaware. Over in Delaware.
How many members are in your lodge? How many overall members do you have in your lodge, Mike? I'm real interested in that. We always talk Texas Freemasonry. I'm interested to see if it's the same.
Mike, you don't have to answer that. Dennis won't give us numbers, so don't feel like you have to. Let's see here.
You stifle the program, Justin.
That's what I do.
I'll tell you how many members we have.
How many members you have?
Right. In Goliad, we have just north of 80 members. We just made another Master Mason. So
80 members, 80 dues pay members.
We've got around 80 members. That's what I was that's kind of what I was getting at, is how many dues paying, how many non-dues paying.
So at Hillsboro, we have about 80. Now I'm curious because we got about 80. I'm gonna say like mid 80s, like 85, 86, 87 members at Hillsboro. Right. But we got about 36 or 37 actual dues paying members.
Right. And that's pretty common. That's about the average for everybody.
Yeah.
That's a good ratio because that's probably what we have.
In
fact, we probably have a few less.
Red Raider says $60 a year at his lodge, but they are fortunate to have few very large expenses, which is good. That's good.
Yeah, when you share a temple, and that's another awesome thing that I think that more people should do.
Oh, my pal says 400 plus.
400 wow. Plus,
yeah.
So
yeah.
Wow, they got it going on, man.
Yeah. That's good. But then again, it goes back to what we were saying, like with the ratios, though. I mean, how many are dues paying?
But do they? Well, that's what I was going to say. Is do they have an endowment program there, or is it all dues paying members?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good to know.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
400. That's a big lodge, though.
Yeah, that's a huge lodge. We have 80 members, and we're one of the more healthy lodges. Goliad is a very healthy lodge. Mm-hmm. We have a good ratio of endowments versus dues paying members, and we also have a really strong showing of people. You have that 80-20 rule that usually shows up, and that's the problem with the plural membership, is that your 20 shrinks because you have all these plural members, but they're not showing up. So your 20%, ends up being more like 10% is actually running the show and showing up to all the events, and the other 90 aren't really doing much.
Yeah.
But in Goliad, fortunately, we had, like, at the master's degree on a Wednesday night, and this is pretty common for our Wednesday night study and floor school, is we had right around 30 people there, and that's pretty common.
Nice.
And our stated meetings have that plus, and that's pretty common with Goliad. But that's not common in Texas, I can tell you. I've been to other lodges. We're lucky to fill all the seats.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I would change about, I like my building. I've been to a lot of lodges, and I think Hillsboro is fortunate in that it has a very nice building, right? But I think most lodges, the lodge room itself is way too large. Way too large. Like, I don't like to see a big empty room, right? Because if you get 30 people, it feels great, but a lot of lodges, it still looks like it's half empty. So,
but wouldn't you rather have the room to grow? I would rather have the room to grow.
No, and here's why. I don't think huge lodges are really a great thing. I think if we're talking ideally, if you got 30 to 40 active members, I think that's good. I think that's great. Most lodges don't have that. Most big city lodges don't have that. So, if you have a healthy lodge with 30 to 40 members, and it's not including guests, right? Then I think that's great.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing, though, is that when you have the open installments and things like that, that lodge gets pretty full pretty fast, and it makes it uncomfortable to have all those people. It makes it uncomfortable to have too many guests. Man, when Grand Lodge comes down in March, it's just horrendous. We have all of our seats filled up, plus 2 more rows of chairs stacked on top of each other to accommodate just the Masons that come for that event. Just the Masons that want to sit in lodge while the Grand Master is there opening in the Grand Lodge of Texas, opening a representation of the Grand Lodge of Texas. I mean, it's a big deal. So it's and we have a pretty decent sized lodge too. So it's kind of, I don't know.
Hey, just so you know, Heavy KC has enlightened us. Jesus is the only way to heaven. Just so you know, it's not relevant to the conversation or anything to Freemasonry, but just so you know.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Mike Powell says we have it endowed in dues, but out of that 400 plus, I've only met about 20. Yes. See, I knew this is where Hefe was going to go with this. He's going to say you can't be a Christian and a Freemason. We're going to pretend like he knows more about the organization than the actual members themselves. But that's cool, man. You do you, Hefe. You do you. Just not here.
That's okay. He doesn't have a microphone.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, Brother Powell. That the 400 versus the 20. I wonder if that's because now out of that 20, is that just people that show up to the lodge, or is that there's so many that you only really know about 20? Because that's how I feel in my church, is that there's so many people, I don't know everybody sometimes. When they all show up at Easter time, when everybody shows up to church, 80% of the people you don't know there because they never show up on Sundays. The small few. Is it which way is that with you? I'm just curious. It's not to drill you down or anything like that. Because like I said, we have 80 members and only 30 show up. And that's not even accurate. It's not 30 Goliad members. There's several of them that are plural members, and then some of them that are visitors from other lodges in the area.
That's how it is at Hillsboro. We hadn't really quite got to 30. We get like 20, 22 to 25 on like a good meeting. And a lot of them are visitors. But that's increasing. Like, we're getting more and more visitors because we're such an awesome lodge. And, I mean, we are growing.
I'm sure it's your sparkling personality.
Yes. And we are growing membership-wise, right? And we're retaining a lot of these guys with good practices and things like that. So we're getting to that point.
But then they find out I'm not there, and then they go home.
Yeah, okay. Hey, you tell yourself what you got to tell yourself, man.
It's that humility thing. You know, I just can't.
I forgot you're extraordinarily humble. Yes.
But that's common in a lot of lodges, and I got to tell you, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, you got to tell us.
Having people show up to visit or whatever it's a good thing, because when you do have the new Masons coming in, it's better that they see activity than a bunch of people sitting around half asleep, hearing the old guys in the back talking to where they think nobody hears them, but everybody hears them, but they don't hear you when you tell them to shut up. You know, you don't need that in a lodge. You need a bunch of active people in there showing interest in what's happening in your lodge. That's the best representation of lodge. And so, yeah, man, that's good. That's one of the positives of plural membership for the people who have them that actually show up to the lodges.
That's a lot of people that's people that generally show up, but we get a lot of visitors from other lodges. And activity is alive at my lodge, and Hefe popped back in with his bubbly personality. But so let's see. Yeah, random visitors are good, I think. For one, it connects you with other Masons, right? But if you get consistent visitors, that means you're doing something good at your lodge. So,
right,
that's definitely. Man, this dude's.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I'm just gonna say something real quick about Hefe. I'm a member of First Baptist Church in Goliad, Texas. It's a Christian church. It's the founding church in Goliad. It's the First Baptist Church in Goliad. And the Baptists are all throughout. They're probably one of the strictest cultures there is, besides the Catholics, of course, who think that they own Christianity, and then the Orthodox who are second in nature, and then comes the help me out. We got several of them here too, because it's a big German following.
Methodist?
Lutheran. Yeah. No, Lutheran.
Yeah.
So, Hefe, I am a member of the Christian church, and here's what I have to say with that. Freemasonry does not base a man on their religion. We talk about spiritual growth within by expanding our brains, not by telling people they have to believe something in general. Nobody on this earth can tell me or anyone else who God is. And no one on this earth should hear that from me telling them who I think God is and what his rules are. What you're learning is from something that was written by somebody else, and you don't know who that person is, and you don't know that it's authentic. All you know is that it was inspired by God. Just like every book out there, whether it be Christian, Muslim, any other book, it's all inspired by God and written by a human being. So you cannot tell anybody with any great certainty that your way is the only way to heaven. Stop spouting that nonsense and get off our show. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, you'll literally never, ever
you never get away from those people.
Ever change someone's mind like that. They don't hear what you're saying. they can't think for themselves, and
That's
they can't
because they
think
can't
outside
think.
the box.
Yeah, they
And
have to
they
spout
they they
something
have
that they
been
were told somebody else.
they have been spoon fed what they believe, and you will not change that. I mean, he's
And
still going on
and,
about
and
it.
I gotta tell you that before I joined, I was a very strict and stern Christian, and I was my way or the highway, and it was even so bad that it was how I believed it to be, not even what the church was teaching. So, you know, brothers, in all reality, um, I believe Jesus walked the earth. I believed he was a great man and prophet and probably the Son of God. Um, he knew the secrets of the Kabbalah that only the oldest Jewish rabbis knew, and that's why he was the teacher. That's why he was the person that had all the gifts of being able to do the what they called heresy, because they couldn't do the raising of man and healing the sick and all that kind of stuff. He had it, man. He had it. He knew it. And the reality is that God made that available to him, and we're just not open enough to receive that. You know, there's something to be said about those people that say, "Oh, you just don't believe." Well, yeah, that's right. When you're too closed off to take in, and I am too. My mind's too small. I've got a finite mind for an infinite. I've got a finite mind for an infinite world, for an
Yeah.
infinite reality.
My thing is, I
And
just don't need some knucklehead that knows nothing, that thinks they know more than we do, but has no experience with the organization, trying to tell me what my beliefs are, and that I'm wrong. It's
right,
the amount of the the audacity, frankly, of thinking that you're more intelligent than every other Mason because you did your research on Google and you know the truth, and anyone who doesn't
right.
agree with you clearly just is not informed. I mean, that's nonsense.
Or you learned it from your hometown pastor, and that's the only person in the world that can interpret the Word of God.
Yeah.
You know, that's the sad thing, is that we get into those mindsets, and we as Masons do that a lot too, and we need to get past that. And I apologize to all of my Mason brothers that are on the show tonight, that I went off like that. But man, if
It's too
y'all only
late.
knew how many people
Too
we
late.
get.
Damage has been done.
Yeah, I
Too
damaged
late.
our fraternity forever.
But yeah.
If
No.
y'all only knew how many people that every day with us. We're trying to do something good, and we get that constantly, and we also get the people who want to join to get rich
Oh yeah.
and
And
think
you've
and
been savage lately on
they
that.
beg us.
You've been
They beg
savage.
us. And
I'll
it's
go
like,
pop
dude,
in because I'll see that we got a message on Facebook, and I see that you already responded. And you're like, you're savage.
I usually just tell them that that's not how you join Freemasonry.
Yeah.
They need to find a local lodge.
Well,
I'm not
no,
savage. I'm just
no,
quick to
he's
tell them.
savage. He's savage. Like so you got to where I am now. No man, this dude he came back again. Like, can you imagine it being 11 o'clock on a Friday, right? And having nothing better to do than troll people, and you got no clue what you're talking about. I mean, I feel bad for you, Hefe. Here, but
I tell you what,
I'll make it easy for you,
go
and
pray.
I'll
Go
hide
pray.
you on this channel too.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
So,
There.
brothers, what else is going on with y'all's lodges out there? Is what's your plural membership ratio, Red Raider, Brother Smith? Is your ratio about like mine is in Goliath? It seemed like it was when I was there. It seemed kind of
If you're talking
about the
about
same.
that 80-20 rule, I mean that seems pretty consistent.
Well, that's always standard, but Goliad's a little bit stronger than that. And Lubbock is really starting to get a good following of brothers. There's several dynamic brothers in the area that are helping the lodges along, like both Brother Smiths and then Brother Fluff is out there also. And
Who?
It's Brother Fluff.
Brother Fluff? Is that what you named your rabbit? Who's Brother Fluff?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Look at this.
Did I forget his name?
No, we got Heffy Heffy. Heffy Heffy.
Oh, you got another one?
Man. Yeah. No, I mean, he's back. He came back.
Wow.
Like,
back from the dead. He must be Jesus.
Twice now.
And that's heresy. I don't want to get shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop saying that stuff. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Because brothers, I do believe in that, and I don't want anybody to think otherwise. But I don't want anybody telling me or anybody else what their religion has to be.
Yeah.
We only have this one time on earth. Every minute of our life is only that 1 minute. And after that minute, it's gone. And you will never get it back. So why should I tell anybody how to spend that minute of their time? All we should do is encourage each other to have the best life we can have, and do it in a good, morally sound manner that's constructive and helpful to the world, so we can do the good in the world instead of be the negative. But otherwise, man, who am I to tell somebody they can't worship the devil? And if they want to, that's fine with me. Just don't tell me I have to worship the devil. I'm not going to. I mean, if you believe that there is a devil to be worshipped, even if you're a Christian, if you believe that, then you believe there's a devil. So, okay, if there is, fine. If you want to worship him, that's fine. I'm not in that game.
Brother Fluff on TikTok.
I'm not in that game.
Why do you say that, Dennis? Yeah, on TikTok, yeah. Yeah, I watch him.
Oh my God.
He's good. He's not a rabbit, Dennis. What are you talking about? Man, this guy here. Jefe, the amount of things that you know about Freemasonry couldn't fill a thimble, man. Like you're just talking out your butt. You don't know. Don't pretend like you do.
Oh,
it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you.
Come on, get rid of Hitler.
Yeah. So let's see.
Treat him like that kid on that movie. You'll shoot your eye out. Ho ho ho! And kick him down the slide.
Nobody knows, lol. So I want to think of something to talk about so we can ignore Hefe. Man, I've been ignoring Hefe. It's actually kind of funny. So, I mean, I guess we ignore him, but whatever. So you want us to? I mean,
well, let's go into something else that I was thinking about the other day. I'm sitting in a master's degree, and there's a part to where they're talking about the trestle board, and we all know that that's written. It's in the monitor, the trestle board, and we all know what that is. What that is it's the You're such a genius now. I'm glad you got it. So, there's the trestle board, and the master writes the plan on which the craft carries out the work, right?
Yeah.
So you've got your apprentices, you've got your fellow crafts, and then you've got your master. You've got your apprentice, who is brand new. You've got your fellow craft,
I think I'm reading too many books. Continue though.
Yeah. Good luck, brother. Good luck. You want me to go show you how many I'm reading right now? So you've got your fellow craft, who is a more expert workman. He can actually fine tune, and he can create the nice sculptures. He can do the good brickwork, and he can actually measure out everything. That's the reality of it. That's that's why we learn those certain things in that degree, is because we're learning how to lay out the plans that the master writes, correct? Well, I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm thinking, so the master's writing out these plans, 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 plans. The master writes out the plans on the trestle board. How many lodges? I'm not even going to ask how many people, but how many lodges don't write plans for themselves? They don't have a budget.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have plans. They don't have the structure to fully run and operate their lodge efficiently. How many lodges are there out there like that? You know, how many? And I know there's got to be a lot, because I know so many people that belong to the lodges that live their lives like they have no plans. You know, I tell everybody, if I don't have, you know, if you're not on my calendar, I won't be there, period. Hands down. I don't have time. I've got too many things going on, and everything is scheduled in its place. And
yeah,
that's the reality. So what are your thoughts on that, on true master understanding the importance and reality of writing down the plans on the trestle board?
Filling the plan is planning to fill, right? So if you don't have a budget, if you don't create some kind of vision, short term and long term for your organization, you're just kind of adrift, right? And any idea sounds like a good idea when you're adrift, but if you say this is our focus and this is where we're going with the lodge, if someone wants to do something and it doesn't necessarily align with the goal of your lodge, then that's how you decide if that's something you should do or not. Because most lodges will just do whatever everybody wants to do, right? But if you say, look, this is our vision is to I don't know, get 3 A certified brothers in the lodge by the end of the year, right? Which is like an esoteric proficiency. Then or even more specific, say like, you know, X lodge is going to be like the premier lodge of this area by doing this and this and this and this. And someone says,
Man,
hey,
you're talking about these certificates. I'm going to have to turn up the AC. I'm getting warm.
But then someone suggests something like a fish fry, and it doesn't necessarily align with the vision or the goals of the lodge. That's how you decide if that's something you're going to do or not. And I use fish fry because that's what a lot of people do. But anyway.
Well, insert event here. I mean, it does. If you're a lodge that you like, let's say, you're a university lodge, not the university lodge in Austin per se. I mean, they have their own vibe, but I'm saying, let's say you're a university lodge, and so your foundation is built around this university. It's built around education. It's built around fraternity. It's built around, inspiring. So if you're doing that, you're not going to have a shuffleboard night for all the elderly. You know, you're not going to have that. It's not going to generate money for you. Mm-hmm. If you have a let's say a beach party, volleyball tournament, that's probably going to generate some money for you. You know, that you've got to remember, you know, where you are, you know, what your socioeconomic impact is on you, as well as you on the community, and go from there. And you have to create your vision based on that too.
Yeah.
It starts with a vision.
So you know what I'm thinking, Dennis?
What?
I'm tired, man.
Man, you're always tired.
Well, yeah, I'm an old man. I gotta get old man sleep.
We've got all these people here listening, and you're wanting to just bail on them.
I think it's best if you leave with some meat on the bone, something to entice them for the next one.
This is not my doing. because I still think there's a little bit more conversation in this.
There's always more conversation on there.
Because
I am tired and wore out, my brother.
I think right
I am
now,
weary. Can go no further.
right now you're seeing a very good example of and he's on that side of me, the fellowcraft and the master. The fellowcraft, he is an expert worker. He does a lot of good stuff. But is he the master? Is he the one that should be making the decisions and making the plans? The master doesn't go home early. The master works hard. He's there. He's the first one there and the last one to leave.
Oh, you're still okay. Sorry, I zoned out. I zoned out. So
I hope
I work with kids all day, so I'm pretty good at just kind of tuning it out. Yeah, I do have the off button. That's a good point. I also have the mute button, which I haven't had to use yet, but it's been tempting a few times.
Healer. That's what I see when I see you teaching. When I think about you teaching, that's the dynamic of your classroom.
All right. So
give it to me right here, brothers.
Thank you, everyone, for attending our live tonight. We'll do more on that. We kind of got the audio figured out.
Yeah, now that we finally got it fixed, we've been trying to do this.
Yes. So thanks again for coming. We'll see you in the next one. Keep it within the points, dudes. What?
Brothers, just for non-members as well, if you're not finding Freemasonry, let us know. If you're in another country, we probably can't help you. But if you're looking for a lodge or what have you, or you're a brother and you haven't found that lodge that you feel the love from and where you really feel led to lead, if you don't feel led to lead or feel like you're meant to be there, then maybe you just find a different lodge. Yes. And maybe it is a good thing to throw a membership to support your mother lodge if it's your mother lodge. But if not, then it's not, and you just go to a different lodge that's going to feed your Freemason. You got to feed your Freemason.
And we're happy.
And so
we're happy to help lead you to a lodge that will lead you to feel like you need to lead. That will lead you to lead.
Yeah.
I feel led to lead you to a lodge where you'll feel led to lead.
And I just feel misled from that statement.
By the way,
he's very misleading.
Yes. By the way, unrelated but related. So we've talked about this before, but so we now offer channel memberships, and that will give you access to there's a few videos already in the members only section, and that is uncut video. There's a few exclusive things already over there. We'll be doing more. We'll probably also be doing more lives for members only once that grows some more. So definitely, if you find value in Masonic improvement, even within us being a part of it, please feel free to become a member through YouTube. Help support our efforts here, and we'll also give you access to exclusive stuff and things like that. But we definitely appreciate everybody's support so far in helping us to grow that. And you're being awfully quiet, Dennis. Did the screen freeze?
Oh, I'm letting you promote.
Yeah.
Yes. You're the marketing guru.
Yeah. Anyway.
But some other good things to mention real quick is that we're, speaking of promotion, we announced on our last video that we're going to you raised your hand. We announced on our last video that we're going to create the Masonic Improvement Movement, where we have education, and it's starting out in El Paso. So if you Lubbock brothers can get out there, we're going to have our first event in El Paso, and what it's going to be is some education. with some guest speakers as well as us, and some nuts and bolts stuff, and then we're going to have some esoteric stuff, and then we're going to finish it off with a festive board.
Nice.
And we are going to take the Masonic improvement movement. Say that 3 times fast. We're going to take that to all over, to different places that normally you wouldn't find those kind of events, so that brothers can enjoy the type of Freemasonry that we enjoy. That's what we love, and we want to share it with you, brothers. So we're in the planning stages now for next year, but we have decided El Paso is going to be the first, and probably one of the flagships.
Yeah, that's going to be it, man. It's going to be a great place.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great time.
So that's some great stuff, and then we'll see you at officer leadership training next week. If you go to that, or even if you don't attend the officer leadership training, you can still go down, and on Saturday night we're going to do a master's degree on the Lexington, the USS Lexington, which is very cool if you've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a good time. So lots of good stuff going on, brothers, and then just as we go along, we're going to create more of this stuff.
Yep.
Keep it coming.
All right.
Keep it coming.
We are heading out. Thanks again for watching.
Keep it between the points, brothers.
Between the points.
That if y'all went through your degrees, you know what this represents, right? And it's not the devil, heifer.
Gotta milk it. Gotta milk it.
You know.
Bye.
Later. Are we done yet? Are we done yet?